Hi, Jeff here. One of the biggest and most stressful purchases anyone can make in their life is buying a new car. Part of that experience is going to a car dealership and having a salesman just spawn out of nowhere and start harassing you about stuff, and you just kind of feel like you're always being scammed. Well, today we're going to look at some one-star reviews at some car dealerships around the country. I want to give a special thanks to Joshua Galka for this idea. If you have any ideas, make sure you leave them in the comment section down below, and while you're down there, make sure you leave a like on this video and subscribe for more, and let's get into these awesome one-star reviews. We're going to start this journey off in the oldest part of America, known as New England, at the Auto Wholesalers in Hooksett, New Hampshire. So make sure you bring your fishing gear because we're going to set some hooks and catch some whoppers here. Some whopper reviews, that is, so let's get into them. Tajia starts us off with a PSA.
Please read, everyone.
My boyfriend and I recently stopped at this dealership on our way on a trip to New Hampshire as he was looking for cars anyway. The guy Rich was really nice at first, but long story short, my boyfriend ended up trading cars title for title.
Says long story short, then proceeds to tell a really long story. Let's go.
Rich said the car had no faults, no engine lights on, sold as is. We left happy until the next day the engine light came right on, so we brought it straight to the mechanic. When he lifted up the car, it was all rotted underneath, as you could see in the pictures. I'll show them on screen. On the passenger side, there is actually
no bottom part of the car.
If you lift the floor mat, you can see the ground. We were not aware of, but these scammers knew what they were up to, and they just wanted to make a better profit. The car we originally had, a 2007 Mini Cooper, traded to them was worth way more than what we realized is basically a junk, which they originally were selling this junk for $3,000, a 2003 Mitsubishi. We went back to the place and they did nothing to resolve the situation. They even told us no when we asked if they could inspect the vehicle beforehand. They knew what they were up to, and the way they handled their business is inhumane and terrible. It's honestly sad how they take advantage of people like this. The Mini Cooper is already up for sale on their website a day later, and they're trying to sell it for $5,000 when my boyfriend originally bought the Mini Cooper at a dealership for $3,500. The Mini Cooper does have a check engine light on, so be aware if they lie to you too, because they just will shut it off and they will tell you there's no issues.
Do not buy the Mini Cooper, any car from them.
We will be contacting the Better Business Bureau and letting everyone know so this doesn't happen to anybody else. Please
save your time and don't go here.
The boyfriend probably thought he was getting a good deal because he paid $3,500 for that car and he was trading it for a $3,000 car, and he probably had some issues with that Mini Cooper and stuff, so he's like, I'll trade the issues for a car that has no issues. Awesome, good deal, sweet. The dealership was probably like, sweet, they probably got that car from like a scrap metal or like an auction or something, and then they made sure that it didn't have any codes or anything right away. They wiped it quick, and then they're like, make sure we put down that thick floor mat so they can't see through the floor on the passenger side, and it's traded as is, no questions asked. You can't even look at it. If a person says you can't inspect a car, don't trust that car. That's not a good deal. Sounds like just a terrible time for them. Andrea's review leans into my theory of them selling junkers. Let's see what she had to say. Sold an already totaled car and then advised us to commit insurance fraud. I wouldn't do business with these people. Yep, so they got a car for super cheap because it got totaled out, fixed it up, cleared the codes, tried to sell it to someone, and the person found out like, hey, just commit insurance fraud. Like, what the heck is going on at this place? Bruna might have had a similar experience. Let's see what they had to say.
Do not buy a car from them. This is the worst place ever.
They sell cars with safety and mechanical issues. They tried to fix my car 3 times unsuccessfully. I had to go to another shop to fix it because their mechanic is trash at his job. Caitlin is the worst manager. She will either ignore your calls or will yell at you saying it is not her problem. They will not respect your rights, and you will end up having to pay multiple repairs for a car you just bought. Plus, they overcharge for everything. I love when people say their rights were violated, but they don't really specifically say what happened besides they were hung up on and they felt like they weren't treated as well. But I think this place probably has a way of just being like, you bought it, we don't really care. Then they just try to kind of ignore you until you go away. Does this trend continue with Justin? Let's go find out. First of all, just an awful experience. Very uninformed team, not into customers asking questions. Second, you guys got 3 voicemails from me about troubles with the vehicle you sold me and will not call back. Third, you sleazeballs failed to mention the original salesman I was dealing with got fired the day before bringing my money. Fourth thing, your new salesman told me about how he was recently released from prison for awful things. I don't think I need to continue, but unfortunately the garbage you're selling does. Yes, it does continue, because it sounds like he bought a car, had trouble with it, called multiple times, left voicemails, never got a call back. Not just that, but the salesman got fired the day before he was going to bring the money, so he must have made the sales with the salesman. Salesman got fired, he brought the money in to buy it. Like, that's just terrible. And then the new salesman just got out of prison? This is just a wild place, man. Just crazy. Will Jayla break the trend? Let's find out. Please don't go here. They are scamming a lot of people, known to be the worst auto dealership in New Hampshire. Not sure if she actually bought a car here or not, or if her boyfriend traded in a car and got scammed from it and she had to deal with her feet going through the floor Flintstone style. Not too sure, but hey, let's move on. Next up, we're going to go to Kenny Kent Toyota in Evansville, Indiana. The name Kenny Kent sounds like a name from like a movie about like high school football in Texas. Let's see what sort of one-star reviews this place has. First up is Jordan, and they have to say, I will never buy a car from them again. Spent $30,000 for a car and had 29,000 miles. Within 1,000 miles, I had to replace the tires and 3 wheel bearings. On top of that, both key fobs they gave me had blank keys that were not cut. Also, the front rotors are bad and the steering wheel shakes while braking. I thought buying from a car dealership, I was avoiding issues like this. I really wish I knew what kind of car this person got, but $30,000 for a car with 29,000 miles on it has all of those issues already. Like, something happened with that car. And also the key fobs not having cut keys. It just sounds like this place is cutting corners to save money and hoping that people will come and buy these lemons from them. Let's see what else happens here. M. Loru is up next, and what do they have to say? Bought a car from them less than 5 months ago, and it's already given up on me. I called twice about it. The first time they said they would call back and didn't. The second time they said there was nothing they could do to help. I was told my car was in great condition when I bought it and that it was a reliable car. Wrong. This is the part of the car buying experience that people dread. Buying a car and then a few months down the road or weeks or miles down the road, the car just starts to fall apart on you. And you go back to the dealership being like, hey, you guys sold me a bad car. And they go, well, hands up in the air like, I don't know what to tell you. No, you bought it. You drove it off the lot. It's yours as is, I guess, whatever. Yeah, it's very, very annoying, but let's keep going. Our boy Don here had trouble with the salesman. Let's see what happened. Took my brand new $60,000 truck in for manufacturing defect that was covered by warranty. I watched the service employee walk out to get my truck. He walks up, slaps a sheet of paper on the hood of my truck and starts filling out the sheet. He should have used a $2 clipboard to write on, not my $60,000 truck. I work at Toyota, Indiana, and if I would have done that to a new vehicle, I would have been walked out within the hour. I spoke to the service manager who was professional and apologized. He said he was going to follow up with the employee, but just in case he doesn't or they don't take this seriously, here's how my Thursday morning went. I worked in retail management for 6 years. If I learned anything during that time, it would be that someone is always watching you. I completely understand where Don is coming from. I would be upset if I brought my new car somewhere and someone was riding on it, but also if you have a truck and you're not expecting your truck to get scratched up at all, then why are you driving a $60,000 truck? You're not going to be driving on any dirt roads or anything where rocks will kick up or anything. You're going to just be driving down pristine roads all the time and your truck will never get scratched. Why have a truck then? Get a sports car. One word. Compensation. Moving on. Kendra went to the dealership to get service done on their vehicle. Let's see what happened. Service department. I took my car to get an oil change, just an oil change, and I was told it'd be $90. I had a coupon with me from a family member and they refused to honor it because it wasn't for my VIN number. Looked online and when I tried to schedule online it tells me it's $59.99 for an oil change. Was still charged $90. Will no longer be coming to Kenny Kent for any Toyota needs. It really grinds my gears when you have an advertised price online or something for something and you show up and they're like, actually that is only for like first time people who bought a car here between the months of March and April, and you're like, what? It didn't say that, and you're like, yeah, it did in the fine print, and it's such a fine print you'd have to zoom in 200% to read it. Oh my gosh, yeah, I hate that kind of stuff. Let's move on to Jason. I have bought several vehicles at Kenny Kent dealerships and had always had a good car buying experience. I stopped in a few weeks ago to look at a used Corolla for a work car. I had just bought a Tundra and wanted to keep the miles low on it. I pulled in the parking lot and parked, and as I was looking at a car, a salesman walks out and yells at me to move my truck. He needs to pull a car out. I said, okay, I'll move it and I'll never come back. As someone who's purchased over 5 vehicles at this dealership, I will never purchase another one here. This review left me scratching my head a little bit. I was a little confused to why Jason was so upset that someone had to ask him to move his truck. Like a salesman coming out and asking him, hey, can you move your truck? And he was like, yeah, all right, I'll never come back. Like, what kind of reaction is that? Just like the Atlanta Falcons mascot setting the record for the largest rope swing, here comes Jeremiah flying in with a truth bomb. Used to be a reputable dealer. Now no better than the lemon dealer Jerry Ray Davis in Owensboro. Don't buy a car from here unless you want it breaking down on you within a year. Greedy and unsympathetic. Well, thank you, Jeremiah, for the update and also the perfect segue to our next dealership. That's right, we're going to go check out the Jerry Ray Davis dealership in Owensboro. Holly had herself a heck of a time. Let's see what happened.
Warning.
Sold me a $48,000 stolen truck. Yes, you heard me right. Had it 3 months and traded a car in, which I couldn't get back. Then my only option was to buy from them again because I had no trade-in and no money down. Went in for the free oil change. They tore up the under coverage that keeps water and mud from getting in the motor, plus oil handprints all over my car. It's a new 2020 and only had 15 miles on it, and it would never in my life put a good word in for the car lot, period. How in the world are you sold a stolen truck? I'm very confused by that. There's no elaboration on it either, which is just amazing. I love that. And then also, I love how she caught a case of the run-on sentences after she went in for that free oil change. Very frustrating to read, but we'll move on to the next one. Let's see what left AJ so unsatisfied. Took advantage of me being young with no parents or experience. Sold me a car for $3,000 more than MSRP and let me walk out with 20% interest. Very pushy too. This review right here is why people don't trust car dealerships or car salesmen for that matter. $3,000 over MSRP and 20% interest. That is insane. This poor guy just lost so much money the second he got in that car and drove it off the lot. Let's see what happened to Kathy. I loved the SUV I got, but I wish they would have checked it out better. Thermostat has been messed up since I bought the car, and since I bought it as is, I'm stuck with having to pay a lot of money out of my pocket to get it fixed because the thermostat is under the manifold. I wish I never got the SUV now. They don't care if they sell you a vehicle that doesn't work the next day after driving it off the lot.
They definitely don't care if it was sold as is.
And I also have a very sneaking suspicion that they knew that thermostat was messed up and they knew that it wouldn't get messed up after X amount of time and just hoped that you would drive it off the lot, and they were all probably haha laughing, popping champagne, clapping and stuff. Woohoo, look at that, she bought that, woo. The next guy up is a mechanic. Let's see what he had to say. Definition of sleazy scumbag car dealers. Save your wallet and your time for someone who respects both of them by going to Don Moore in Hartford. You get a better deal and service that isn't skin-crawlingly obvious about trying to fleece you. Tried to sell me, a mechanic, a car with a badly lurching transmission and unbalanced wheel wobble, claiming all cars do this. Told me they weren't going to do a hard credit check and then 5 minutes later did one anyway. If they lied about that, I can believe they'd lie about more. These clowns are out to screw you. Go to Don Moore in Hartford. If Jerry Ray is vinegar, Don Moore is honey. I really liked this review. I think this is a 1-star review that if I read about a place, I would avoid it altogether. It says, sleazy scumbag car dealer, skin-crawlingly obviously trying to fleece you. This guy's a mechanic was sold a car that was bad. They told him, oh, all cars do lurching stuff and have wheel wobble. Like, no, that's bad. And I would read that and see that Don Moore thing and be like, all right, I'll make a trip to Hartford. I don't know where Hartford is. I'm not from Indiana. Or am I?
Where am I from? You don't know.
Let's see what happened to Cheryl. My experience was not a great one. I purchased a 2022 Chrysler van on a Friday, but by the time all the paperwork was completed, the insurance office had closed, so they asked us to leave until Monday. After picking it up and driving it straight home, we noticed damage to the front of the van. I called them and drove right back. Was treated terrible when I walked in. No one would make eye contact with me, and no one would admit to the damage. I will never do business with them again or recommend anyone else. I was robbed of the joy of purchasing a new vehicle. I think the only way I could have joy purchasing a new vehicle is if I wasn't the one actually buying it, because it's buyer's remorse hits me like a truck buying anything over the price of like $20. Oof. The front end damage looks like almost key marks or something. I can't really tell. I have a picture up and I've been showing it. I don't really know. Looks like it's been scratched obviously, and it's a newer vehicle. And there's also a nice bug that got splattered. Rest in peace, little bug. Seth needed something remedied on his new vehicle. Let's see what happened. Service department doesn't allow for 0 stars as a review, but it's the proper amount. Has changed and is now terrible. They had our vehicle in several times, I think 5 times, for the same issue. Never got fixed. Went in again for them to try to fix the issue to find the warranty had ended and they would not release our vehicle until the bill was paid. The service department needs to have some house cleaning and start over. I've bought multiple vehicles from them and can confidently say I'll never be back. I understand the need to want to leave a 0-star review for this. 5 times for the same issue and it never worked, and then the warranty ends and then you're stuck paying the bill. It kind of sounds like they were just kicking it along and waiting for that warranty to end, like some sort of conspiracy racket or something, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Next up, we're going to make our way over to North Carolina, to Raleigh, North Carolina, to the DriveTime used cars lot. We'll start off with SNW, stands for Supernova Washing Machine. Fun fact, I know, and they had to say. Crystal was great and a big help, however they are selling lemon cars. I had the car for an hour and then transmission went up. They have to be just turning the check engine lights off. To sell cars, which is a shady business practice. They also sold my daughter a car with a bad motor all within a week. They have hustled my family twice out of money. Bought a car where the transmission went up within an hour. Also bought a car where the engine went up within a week, all at the same time. I have a clip just for this.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Dennis has a background in cars. Let's see what happened to him. I have had my car for less than 3 weeks and now having severe issues. I am a certified mechanic and run a national branded repair shop. The help you get or receive from the extended warranty company is terrible. I deal with aftermarket warranty companies daily. This company is the worst. If could return this car, I would. 3 weeks into having a car and having severe issues. Oh, that just makes my skin crawl. Next up is Broken Proton. Made a reservation to go look at a vehicle and then drove an hour and a half to see it, only to learn the general manager took the car home for himself to drive after arriving. Do not rely on the website or a reservation to look at a vehicle. The manager might be joyriding it to his house. Let me know what you think happened in this one, because this one kind of confuses me. Do you think the manager was like maliciously taking the car home so the guy couldn't drive it? Was there something wrong with the car so they said that the guy took it home? I don't really know. It's a little confusing for me, so let me know what you think. Gerald also had an unhappy experience with the manager. Let's see what happened with him. My wife and I were there for 45 minutes with being inside for 35 of that. The manager, Michael, approached us and said somebody would be with us shortly, but that was it. He should have handled things himself if they were so busy instead of going back to his office and playing on his cell phone. After sitting there for 30 minutes, we decided we should probably shop elsewhere. I understand that places get busy, but again, this is all on the manager because he should have handled the sale because we were guaranteed buying a vehicle today. There is a good possibility that everybody who could help sell a car was busy and the manager couldn't sell a car because he also has to be available to help anyone with a problem, and if he's selling a car then everyone else will get bogged down by the manager having to help them with problems, but Gerald probably doesn't know that because he kind of has that boomer energy going through this review, just saying. Nathan has a 2-part review. Part 1 was before things went downhill. Let's see what happened. Kimberly was awesome and fun to work with when buying my car. She broke everything down for me to understand what I was buying. Thanks, Kim. Update. I would give this place a negative 5-star if I could. After only having the car for 2 days, the motor goes out and the shop has had my car for almost a month. DriveTime nor Silver Rock is wanting to help with a rental or rental reimbursement. How can you sell a car with a bad motor? $1,200 deep in a rental, and Silver Rock says the only help with the $300 reimbursement. And I'm out the rest. This may be my last car I buy from them. And the only reason they're getting 1 star is because it's making me put it, DriveTime, do better. Like that feeling of jumping from a hot tub into a swimming pool, you can really feel the tone shift from the before and after the update. Had a great time buying the car, it was all smooth, and get that car on the road, drive it for a little bit, and engine goes bad, life goes bad, everything goes bad, leaving 1-star reviews that you wish could be -5, life just goes upside down all around, and you're not even on a roller coaster. Next up we have T, like the one you put a golf ball on and smack with a driver, but don't do this to this person, you go to jail for a felony, and they had to say, I love this location. Amber and Courtney were pleasant and really assisted me with the process. Update. The car is a rust bucket. They checked the list off and didn't let me check it. I had repairs to do a few days after purchasing the car. Don't worry, I thought I was having deja vu too, but T and Nathan had very similar experiences. They had really smooth process getting out the door, and the second they're out the door, they didn't care anymore. And they're like, it's as is. You bought a rust bucket, good luck. If we're going to have it in for repairs, we're going to have it for a long time too, so good luck there too. Very annoying, doesn't sound like a great place to shop at. Next we make our way to the great white north state known as Wisconsin, but we're going to a place called Somerset, but it isn't spelled like summer because it's never summer in Wisconsin. We're making our way to the Somerset Sales and Leasing, so let's just dive into those reviews. We'll start off with James. Bring a lawyer to proofread your paperwork. I bought a 2019 Camry from this place with 21,000 miles on it at the time. I paid $2,400 extra for an extended warranty, which was supposed to be 5 years or 60,000 miles. So one would think after 3 years and only 68,000 miles on the car, I would be covered. Think again. Apparently my warranty wasn't extended. It was stacked on top of a warranty from the factory. So I essentially paid $2,400 for a warranty that was good for maybe 10,000 miles. That was never needed. Now he can't have an adult conversation about the term extended without hanging up on me. He made his money and now he's done with it. Other people have warranty place and Somerset have agreed I'm right, but because of a certain box was checked, I'm screwed.
Be cautious buying here.
I'll be contacting a lawyer in the Better Business Bureau. I'd steer clear of true warranty as well. As far as your reply goes, I call bull crap. See you in court. And if anyone buying here would like to hear my horror story, please feel free to reach out on Facebook. I'd be more than happy to tell you the details. The reply from the owner he's talking about I have on the screen now. They had to say, "Hi James, thank you for sharing your feedback. We apologize with any frustration caused by the warranty confusion. We take your concerns seriously and will address them promptly." Almost sounds like a canned response to me. What do you guys think? I've always been told that these warranties and stuff were a way for them to pad the final bill for you so you could add an extra $2,000-$3,000 of something you don't really need or something like that, but I don't really know. I've never looked too much into it. I didn't get a warranty on my new car, but hey, to each their own, I guess, right? Moving on. Let's see how things went for Amanda. They should have their license taken. Just rip people off because they know it's a lot of headache and money to get a lawyer and follow through. Most people won't, but I'm sure their day is coming soon. Karma for redacted. I want to know what happened to Amanda specifically to have this happen. Like, what car did you buy? What went wrong with it? What was your experience? This is pretty vague, but I like the vagueness. It leads me to ponder, think, look into the horizon and wonder, what went so wrong for Amanda? Why? Why should their license be taken? But, we'll keep looking. Next up is Luke. Don't buy anything from this sleazy shop. I purchased a Jeep from them and it started having issues on my way home. They won't do anything to make it right either. They won't stand by what they sell. They will cover up issues, not disclose anything about the issues, and once it's off the lot, it becomes your problem and not theirs.
Do not do business with these people, ever.
Wowzers. Luke got really mad at the end there, but I would be very angry too if I just bought a new car, spent a couple hours at the dealership chumming it up with the people, probably being just like helped on hand and foot. You drive home and on your way home, the wheels start shaking, you have a rim fly off, and you're like, all right, what's going on? So you call back up and you're like, hey, I'm having all these issues, and the place is like, so what? That's your problem now. You bought it, you drove it off the lot, we don't care anymore. Man, I would just be irate. I would be all red face emoji'd, hardcore, just ooh, all over my body, like chicken pox. Fun fact, I've never had the chicken pox. Moving on. Melissa has a warning for us. Be careful. We called about a vehicle we saw for sale at Somerset. They said the River Falls location had it, so we drove 35 minutes to River Falls to check it out. Turns out it wasn't at the River Falls location, it was actually at the Somerset location. So another 30-minute drive to Somerset just to find out the van wasn't even drivable or even the correct style of van they posted it was. The tire needed repairing on it and it was overpriced. Do not waste your time as they don't even know their own inventory or correct model of vehicles. As you can see in the background footage, it is not that big of a vehicle lot at Somerset. They should really know what their inventory is, and they should be able to post the correct pictures and models of vehicles. And if it's not drivable, why are you posting pictures for sale and making someone come and check it out if they're not going to buy it? Very silly. Next up, we have a different Amanda. Let's see what she had to say.
Update.
They just asked my roommate to ask me to take down this review. I will update the rating and review if they fix the problem. Don't buy a car here. My roommate bought a car and went back the next day having a problem with the car already. No one helped him and the salesman wasn't there. He tried to call, he left messages, he went back the next day. Don't buy a car from these guys. They don't care if they sell you a lemon, and then will ignore you afterwards. And she actually got a response from the owner. The owner had to say, Mandy, we have been in contact with Alex multiple times concerning his purchase. I want to remind you that he did purchase a 16-year-old car with high miles. It is impossible to warranty a car of that age and tough to predict what's going to happen from day to day to a car like that. We are actively trying to make something work for him under his circumstances. We will try everything in our power to get the job done. Please contact us if you have any further questions. Thanks. I really did not like that owner's response. It was a very, very politician type response, like kind of dancing around it, like, yes, you bought a 16-year-old car, so, anything can happen to it. But, I drove a 16-year-old car for a very long time, and it doesn't just go wrong one day. It'll slowly break over time, and then it ends up being a thing where the cost of fixing the car is more than it is worth to, get a new car, which is what happened to me. So I don't really like that response. What do you guys think? And after Somerset, the sun is going to set on this video, so make sure you leave a like and subscribe for more, and check out more videos on my channel if you like this one, because I've been Jeff and I'd like to see you around, and make sure you leave a comment and I'll say hi. So yep, with that I'll say goodbye, see you later, see ya, goodbye. Don't forget to mix in some fruit in your diet or you'll get scurvy.